Serious CPS workers of Reddit, what are some horror stories that you've encountered? Serious replies only. Edit. I would like to thank each and every one of you that has contributed to this thread. It has confirmed a lot of what I thought to be happening and also opened my eyes to some new and terrible information. You are great people for trying to help these young people and children. Thanks for trying to break the horrible ongoing cycle that is abuse, molestation, and worse. You all are stronger than most. My agency 30 years ago had a boy that was beaten and forced into child pornography. When he was rescued at 8, he had burn marks all over him, and his arms, back, and face had been sliced with a knife. His back had chain whip scars and his arm was broken so badly that it never healed right, and the nerve damage resulted in the need for it to be amputated. The boy spoke with a stutter and was paranoid. He was put in a group home, and then a foster home. He was close with his foster family's neighbors and ran away with them when they moved away. He wasn't found until he was 21, so he was legally allowed to stay with them. We didn't work with him since he ran away, but 2 years ago I saw him being interviewed on TV. He was shockingly healthy looking, no stutter. I hope he found the peace and love he deserved with the family he ran away with. One of the worst was a case I was jointly investigating with police, and the teen girl was being constantly molested by her stepfather. The girl told me that her stepdad would always tell her they were lovers in a past life and they are celestial soulmates, and told her whenever he would have sex with his wife he couldn't keep his dick hard unless he thought of her. The mother knew for years what was going on but didn't want to leave him. We confronted the mom about the stepdad and she knew the stepdad couldn't come unless he fantasizes about her daughter. When the detective told the mom she was being arrested, her only response was, "But I have work in the morning." She had no remorse. That will always stay with me. From my wife, who works with disabled/abused/otherwise non-standard kids. One day, we had a potential new kid for our daycare program. We were showing him TH facility, and he noticed a few workers who were replacing a window. Another kid put a chair through it the morning. He looks at them, and asks, "What you doing?" We were ever so slightly appalled, but then again the kid has a rough home life. After the tour, we stuck him in one of the groups to see how he got along with other children. Cue a high-pitched scream and a crying kid. What happened, you ask? The little guy had crawled between a skirt-wearing woman's legs and tried to shove his finger right in her lady bits. When questioned, he stated that he does it with his sister all the time. We later learned that the whole family often watched porn together. Hello foster care. And now for the shocker, that little boy was 5 years old. I've got a similar story from my new job. A 6-year-old boy told me that he wanted to bruise my. Turns out the mom was a prostitute who would have guys come in and sex with this young boy and his brother. So this boy has always had a sexual relation with his brother and random guys all before the age of 6. Not with CPS, but I was a child therapist who worked in a school. I saw some really terrible stuff. One thing that broke my heart was a kid who frequently defecated on himself while at school. His parent wouldn't take him to the doctor to make sure there was no physical issue, and wouldn't be bothered to send him with extra clothes or bring him extra clothes, so he would have to spend all day in school with poop in his pants. His teachers would sit a chair outside the classroom near the door so he could still hear the lessons. He wasn't even one of my clients, because his parent wouldn't agree. Kids exposed to graphic porn, babies shaken, beaten with sticks, keys, phone books, a lot of sexual abuse, mostly done by the parents, severe neglect, no food, locked in closets for days with no bed to toilet, filthy homes, parents just generally not giving a, incest, children being tied to windows and having things thrown at them, drug use at a very young age, parents videotaping themselves beating their kids. The list can go on and on. It's pretty gruesome. I remember reading a story about a couple that adopted a little boy, 6-8-ish, and had a daughter who was biologically theirs, younger, 3 years old, maybe? I can't remember whether they had their daughter first or not. Anyway, the boy was abusing their daughter. They knew something was wrong by the way she cringed away from him and cried around him, but at some point they found out he was sexually abusing her, too. They gave him back to the adoption agency and everyone treated them so badly for it, like they chose their real daughter over their adopted son. But can you imagine being in the position where one child in the house is being physically and sexually abused by the other? The boy was too young to know better, so I'm definitely sympathetic to him, but there was just a point where they couldn't risk it.